Okay, well, this is Jared and Carrie from Tone Wars, and we are here with episode 2 of Pay to Play, and we're here with a couple of local promoters, and we want to give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves and tell us basically what it is from your perspective, what you do, and all the different inner workings of booking shows and promoting and all that happy stuff.
Okay. I'm Paul Smash Cobb. I work at the Token Lounge as a booking agent. I also work with the Crowfoot, the Ritz, the Diesel, and occasionally St. Andrews Hall. I book shows there from local bands to regional bands to national bands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this is...
Kaylani Yates. I'm basically his assistant, but I have booked bands before. I did it for like 10 years, so
Okay.
I do have some experience.
Okay, well,
thanks
great.
for being with us today.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a continuation of the episode 1 where we interviewed bands about pay to play and what their issues and what their feelings were about it. And so now we're going to get the flip side of the coin.
Okay, so give us your perspective. So you just booked a national band
Okay.
at, let's say, the Token.
Okay.
Right? So you just hung up the phone with them, made whatever the deal was that you made with them. So then what's next? And give us some perspective from your end.
Okay, so usually when we book a national over at the Token, usually the way it comes down is once we agree upon a price, depending on what the price may be.
Yeah.
So let's say like we booked like a Tom Kiefer for $15,000.
Okay.
Okay, because that's usually about the going rate for Tom.
Okay.
Okay, so we book him. So the next step is that with it, before we can even advertise the event or even announce the event, we got to send the agent half the money immediately. Otherwise, we can't advertise, promote, or do anything whatsoever. So we got to come up with $7,500, boom, right out of the gate.
Okay.
Or we can't even advertise the show.
Okay.
Okay, and then usually when something like that, goes on, if he's on a tour, then he's coming through. If he's not on a tour, then there's all kinds of other stuff that comes into play where we gotta pick him up at the airport and provide transportation. We gotta provide a complete backline for him, and I'm not sure what transportation costs, but I know it's somewhere between like $250 and $500, just for the day. And I know backline costs like around $1,000 to $1,200, depending on what the situation is.
Yeah, what they need.
So usually for like a show with Tom Kiefer, which we just had not too long ago, including the cost of everything involved, because hotel rooms, not one day anymore, folks, but they want it for 2 days.
Ah. Okay, gotcha.
And then we usually have to cater them depending on what time they want to get there. Like if they get there early, like in the morning, like some of them do, like Striper, which you guys have played with Striper before.
Yeah.
Then we have to cater their breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack.
Okay.
And it's usually from anywhere from 8 people to 22 people. And it's usually anywhere from like $15 to $10 per person.
Okay.
A matter of fact, one band's, and I won't say, I'll get back to it, but one band's rider, just for rider food alone, they didn't want the food, they just wanted an $800 buyout for food. $800 worth of food, every venue. Now to me, as a booking agent, that's a little freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, $800 worth of food.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you eating? I mean, even filet mignon, you know what I'm saying?
It's a little, yeah.
So to get back to that, so then with all the expenses and the costs of, the venue being open, the electricity, the sound guy, the lights, everything, with the Tom Kiefer thing, you're looking at a $22,000 show.
Okay.
So then, basically, it's brought to my attention, and it's basically like, hey, find some bands that can, do the show and that want to do the show, and find some bands that, from right out of the gate, that are close to the Token, so we know that they can draw, and make sure that they can draw, because they want the people there. They just don't want the bands to buy the tickets, and so usually, we get on the horn. We've made deals before.
Yep.
And it's basically like, hey, it's this many, it's this much, and yada yada. But before, which is now changing, before it just used to be like, here's 30 tickets, they're $25 a piece. I need $7.50, you know, and it would be like, and you guys get nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You guys wouldn't even get free water.
Nope.
You guys wouldn't get, you know, free drink tickets.
Nope.
You guys wouldn't even get a slap in the face after you give up the money.
Sometimes significant others would have to pay to get in. Sometimes like girlfriend or wife or
Right.
Yeah, they still have to pay to get in.
had to pay to get in.
Yeah.
And
We'll go over how that's changing later, but
okay.
for now.
Yeah. So basically, what we do is we get a group of bands. You know, 4 bands. There's been times to where sometimes I've been told by certain club owners to get 5, 6 bands, but realistically, the agency only wanted 4.
Right.
Gotcha.
And then I myself am in a rock
Rock in a hard place.
Yeah.
sorry about that. But I'm in a rock in a hard place. And so then it's like I have to look like the bad guy, like I've talked to you about before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to be the bad cop and say, oh, hey, sorry, you can't play the show. You know, here's your money back. You know, here's a couple, which it's happened. It's happened to a couple bands. And to where basically I went back and said, you know, here's all your money back, you know, and actually I have to go and get it back from the venue. Here's all your money back. Here's some drink tickets. You know, hang out, have a good time. But regardless if I've done that or not, there's a bad taste in that band's mouth because it's just like, hey, Paul Smash Cobb just, excuse my language, f***ed me over.
Yeah.
But really I didn't, and I felt bad. But anyway, and so then we, you know, basically have the band, you know, pay 2 days prior before the show. You know, and the reason why that is because a lot of bands are like, well, we have to pay, you know, in advance to play, and it kind of sucks. But the reason why that is we try to get that out of the way, so that way when we bring bands in, there's not the confusion of like
Who's got the money?
Right? Who's got
Yeah.
the money? What's going on?
Yeah.
They just come in, we set everybody up, we get everybody situated,
Gotcha.
and try to make it as organized as possible.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
When a national act is asking for this amount of money and this is the rider and we need this and we need that, why can't we just say no? Like that's too expensive.
See, you know something, and realistically, Carrie, there used to be a time and a place to where we could say no, but there's so many other venues out there that will give them that amount of money and will bring them in and will get the other local bands to come in. So it's really a difficult challenge because it's like, if we don't come up with the money, then the machine shop will come up with the money, or the diesel will come up with the money, or you know, just it becomes a battling.
It's like a bidding war.
Yeah, it's been like this before, to where it's just like, okay, well we got Striper, and we just got $10,000 offer from this venue. What are you going to offer? And then that guy hangs up that phone and calls the third club in the Michigan market and says, well, we just got this offer from this club in this other club. What are you going to offer? And that's literally what happens. And whoever offers them the most gets the band.
So
there's no real loyal. There used to be, because I've been doing this since '96, and there used to be before where there was a bond. And when you bonded with that agent, the agent would only exclusively work with your room. That's not there no more.
So it's all about the money now.
Yeah, big time,
Okay.
with everything. I mean,
but then it's passed down though. So if you agree to the blown up amount, you know, that the band wants, it's not the venue that's eating it. Then it's being passed down. Like, okay, instead of selling 15, 20 tickets, now you got to sell 30 tickets and give us all the money, and
right.
and it's passed down to the local.
So it's like a trickle down effect in a negative way.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has to suffer because this band and their overinflated egos, they think that they're worth more than what they really are.
Some of them, yes. This is
Yeah.
where.
Well, I want to say this too, and I want to face the camera when I say this. I mean, seriously, I don't give a crap. I mean, you guys that think you're so awesome that you're worth all these huge, overly inflated prices, you're not really worth that. You know why? I can prove it to you, because we're the ones that have to sell all those tickets to make up for what you can't draw on your own. It's us. It's us that carry that load. It's the local bands that sell the living hell out of your tickets so that we can make sure that your egos are satisfied with all of the prices that you want and all the money that you want. Because let's face it, if we weren't there to sell those tickets for you, I'll guarantee you a third of your audience wouldn't be there, because that tells you that you're not drawing all those people on your own. We're helping with that. So you have a false sense of security with your price. Your value isn't really what you think it is, because if it was, you wouldn't need us to make up the difference between what you can draw on your own and what we can draw for you. So keep that in mind and remember that.
Let's not forget that a lot of that has to do with management, because the more the band makes, the more the manager makes.
Yeah.
So even though the band may not be demanding it, of course the manager is going to go for the highest price so he can make money.
Sure.
And I understand making money, but I also understand gouging.
Well, there's gouging,
Yes.
and then there's egos, and then there's
Greed.
and then there's also the people like us. Like I said, we make up the difference, and what do we get for that? We have to turn in 100% of the money that we sell the tickets for.
Right.
Well, and the thing to keep in mind too is national acts are all local acts somewhere.
Exactly.
They started out where we are.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't expect a national act to just give handouts. Everybody has to make money. It's a free country. I get that.
Yep.
But have some compassion or understanding, and don't.
Or sorry but from my point of view, because I play in bands too, can you give a little more room on the stage?
Yeah, no doubt, man. Jeez, you get like 3 inches of stage, and what really drives me nuts too is the fight over the drum throne. Where they have the drum riser. They have that up there, and then they'll take the whole thing and take all the money and take everything, and it's like they have no consideration for anybody but themselves. And some of the bands even shut down people's merch booths when they go on stage.
And I'm not afraid to bring that's OTAP.
OTAP.
And she's notorious for doing it.
Yeah.
Hang on one second. Not only in Michigan, but everywhere. Everybody's complained about it, from local bands to now. And to me, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you're telling me well, I'll let you take that over, because you said something about her earlier.
What I said was, he told me that all the bands were required to shut down their merch table, and I said, so in other words, what she's saying is her band sucks so bad that T-shirts are going to distract from your band.
Yep. You're pretty much telling on yourself by saying that.
I don't think she's realizing how much she's insulting who she's representing.
Yeah. Which is supposed to be
because
herself.
If a couple of T-shirts can distract somebody, you're not all that musically powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and with the current setup, merch is the only way local bands have to make the money that we turn in.
And to take that even further, and really it's not just local bands, it's regional bands and national bands, because sometimes, depending on who you're signed with or what you're signed through, you're only depending on making real money off your merch sales.
Exactly.
All bands, not just local bands. And like John was saying, in the first edition of this, merchandise is like what he was saying. Sometimes that's all you got. That's all you can sell.
Yeah, and what sucks is this local band that sold, I don't know, $700 to $1,000 worth of your tickets, and brought in 100% of that money, and all those people are there to see that band, and then they're going to shut down their merch booth, which is their only way of recouping some of that. Right. It's like it's the most disrespectful and abhorrent thing you can do to somebody. It's ridiculous. And then I even saw like different people saying, "Oh, it's my tour, my rules." It's like, well, it's our house, our rules. This is the place that we hang out at. This is the place that we support. This is the place that we promote, and we bring our friends to and buy drinks at and open up for bands at. So guess what? Our house, our rules. You don't get to come in and just tell everybody they can, not make any money or whatever. You're just stopping by. We live here.
Right.
And that's the part that drives me freaking out of my mind, is when these bands do this. And I'm speaking for not only our band and myself, but I'm speaking for all of the local bands. I mean, I just sense, and I've heard, and I talk to a lot of people, on the phone or at shows or after shows. We all go out, have breakfast because that's that late, and people talk, and that's really the stuff that's spoken about. It's like, we feel like we're not appreciated. We feel like, you know, we've done all this work and we showed up and we did everything that was required of us, and we're not even charging to play.
Right.
But what we want is to be compensated for what we've done over and above playing. So, in other words, like, okay, fine, I got to sell 30 tickets at $15 a piece. It is what it is. That's the way things are ran because, like I said, these guys make deals that are overly inflated, and someone's got to make up for that, which is really disgusting. But whatever. You know, you national acts that think you're, you know, worth that. Yeah, you live with that. and just so you know, we all know that what the real deal is. So, but on top of that, though, the thing is if we're expected to promote, okay, so basically what's happening is that we're subcontracted at that point from the venue or the main promoter. We're subcontracted as promoters, okay? So I own a business and I get work subcontracted to me all the time. I charge for that. And I love what I do. But at the same time, I'm not going to go out and do this subcontracted job for free. Even though I love my business and I love what I do, I have to be compensated for that. So if I'm going to be subcontracted as a promoter and a ticket salesperson and someone who has to be in charge of the money and run these tickets all over God's green acres every time I sell them, I got to meet this guy over here, mail these over there, collect the money, put it in an envelope, make sure I got it all. I need to be compensated for that. So my thing is,
it's kind of like the same thing I do on a different level.
Well, and yeah. So, but here's the thing, though. People get paid that are subcontracting things to us, but we're not. So we're required to show up and play a show. That's basically, as a band, that's what we're doing. But we're getting these jobs added to our list. Like, well, we need you to sell these tickets. We need you to promote. We need you to run them all over the place and be responsible for this money. But we're not going to pay you for that.
I brought this up in the last episode. Like, I don't know, like, what happened and where was the switch? Because bands used to get paid to play.
I know exactly where it happened. I know exactly where it happened. You want to know why ticket sales are a thing now?
Yeah.
Is because you remember back in the day, what did bands do? They went out and did flyers. They worked the audience.
Yep.
And what killed it was the internet. Because now bands think, I sent out a bunch of, oh yeah, there's 500 people who say they're going to show up. Yeah, say they're going to show up.
Yeah, but they're not.
And the reason that the venues require ticket sales now is because they need to guarantee they can cover their costs.
Exactly.
Because trust me, if they didn't have to go through all the trouble of printing the tickets and this, that, and the other, it's less hassle.
Well, I think, here's the thing though. Whatever that is, it is what it is. And I understand that. And there's nothing we can really do about that. The problem really, here's where the problem pretty much starts and ends. We need to be compensated. I don't have a problem with promoting because that's part of being in a band. I have a business and I own a pressure washing business. Now, if I don't promote my business, I don't do any jobs.
Right.
So I understand that I have to wear that hat too. And then when I go out and work, I wear a different hat. When people call me and I have to sell the job, I wear that hat. When stuff breaks, I got to wear the fix-it hat, you know? So when you're in a band, I wear a guitar hat, I wear all those hats too, but I need to be paid for my time, and I also think that, and I'm speaking for everybody, we all need to be paid. I'm not asking for millions, you know? I'm just asking for what's fair. And this is what I think is fair. What I think is fair is you can do a tiered system, okay? If you want to be direct support for whatever the national act is, fine. More is required of you because that's a better slot. You should sell more tickets, but you should also get a bigger percentage of that sale, okay? And so on and so forth, right down to the opener at 6:30 or whatever.
But you also have to get the venue owners to agree to this.
Well, exactly.
Because they're the ones calling the shots.
Sure, and they're the ones that are going to watch this, and they're the ones that are going to have an opportunity to see our side of things and understand that, I don't think I'm asking too much. Okay, so what I think is fair is a tiered system of a percentage of tickets, okay, and amount of tickets that need to be sold. I also think what's fair is that we get some sort of drink allowance, give us some drink tickets when we walk in, because we all know that the price of a beer is not $6. Okay,
it's not $5. It's not $6.
Or
It's not $8.
Yeah. It's a hell of a lot lower than that. So it's not like you're giving us the farm here. And I'm not saying that we don't appreciate it, but come on. So, and venues that have food, hey, you know what? If the National gets food and they're getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of food, can you buy us a pizza? I mean, it's not. We're not asking a lot. So I honestly feel that if we got a percentage of the ticket sales for our work as promoters that have been subcontracted to us, some drink tickets and a pizza for the band, I think that we would all feel appreciated, and that good faith and that goodwill would go a long ways for people, and at that point the scene would be better and people would feel more appreciated, and they would perform better and look forward to this more. And that's really how it is.
Well, all of them would come out with a good taste in their mouth instead of a sour taste.
Yeah, exactly. And I would
agree with that.
Yeah,
and another thing that I wanted to bring up, as far as bringing you guys on as promoters, not really necessarily trying to bring the bands on as promoters, but really necessarily just trying to bring the bands on, because it's sure, you're on the event page, great, but put them on the flyer. And that way that they're more excited to push the flyer and have the flyer out there, to where it's now instead of now we just sent you the flyer and sent the other 3 bands the flyers. Their name is on there. They don't have to do no work.
Yeah. And it's respectful to us.
Well, I mean, not only that, it's respectful to all the bands.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about making their own type of flyer.
Exactly.
It's already done for them. Yep. So all they got to do is help with the promotion.
And it's all about branding. And now you got one brand out there.
Right.
One thing for everybody to share. And there's no confusion with, what show was that again? And,
right. What event page is this? And why is there 4 event pages now?
Exactly.
Which frustrates, the
hell
out of me.
Yeah.
What event page is the real page?
Exactly. And it just confuses everything. So you got that. And, you even watch the end of any Hollywood movie, or even the beginning of it. They got the guy that's holding the microphone. His name's on there.
Right.
He's not even one of the freaking extras.
Right.
We're a band that's on stage opening up for these guys, and our name's not even on the freaking flyer.
Right.
It's give me a break.
Right.
Exactly. Joe Billy Bob, who holds the mic, his name's all over the freaking end of the movie.
The guy that gives you free
That's
picks.
union. That's all because of union.
The guy that gives us...
We need to start a union.
Oh, no. No.
That's kind of funny, because me and her were actually discussing that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show. So I guess what I'm trying to say to sum up here is I'm not saying that people are necessarily have bad intentions.
Right. No, I don't think no one has bad intentions.
I understand your end, because if you're on the hook for so and so who wants to roll into town and make $15,000 to play for an hour, good for him. I don't begrudge him that at all.
Right.
But he has to be worth it.
Right.
He has to be able to earn that on his own.
Right.
And like I said, having us make up for that, fine. You want me to help you make up for that so that your ego feels great? Fine, but you're paying me for it.
Right.
So now we both won. I gave you what you wanted, so you can think that you're king of the universe, and I got my cut of that, and I got a few free drinks and a little bit of food, and I go home and there's no out of pocket, because to be honest with you, let me give you some more perspective on our side. From our side, there's gas to get to the venue. There's lost hours from jobs. People cut out early or whatever. I'm a business owner. I have to shift my jobs around. There's a risk for that, but whatever. So we show up, we have dinner, and you're at the bar, you get thirsty, and you go up, can I get a water? Yeah, that's $3. Are you freaking kidding me?
Right.
$3? I just handed you $700, and you're going to charge me for water?
Sometimes more.
Yeah, sometimes more, exactly. And here's the other thing. So you get there at 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you don't
there.
go on until 9.
Yeah.
Right, so you're there for 4 hours.
And sometimes you don't get a sound check. You get a line check with somebody that doesn't care.
Yep.
There are some, not all of them are bad, but typically the sound engineers does not care. And so the product that you're offering to the crowd isn't going to be
Yeah.
true.
Well, some
to-
sound engineers definitely do stick around
Yeah.
and pay attention.
And some walk away from the board and just go out and smoke cigarettes while
Yeah.
they're playing.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's-
And that is very true too, and that's
Yeah.
very rude. And
Yeah.
that's very disheartening to anybody that's up on stage and they're starting to get feedback, and they look to the soundboard and
There's nobody there.
there's no sound guy,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, I know what that feels
But the
like.
National gets all the good stuff.
Well, the
you know?
National brings in their own sound
Yeah.
guy that, guess what,
Yeah,
we paid for.
yeah, exactly. So,
But if you
well,
wait for him, though, then he should be able to service the other bands if
Right.
there's an idiot.
There
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
there should be more of a unity. Like if there is a national sound guy in the house and he happens to hear something and he's running sound for the national band, then what's wrong with the national sound guy walking over and just tweaking out the sound system for the local band?
Yeah, help them out.
You might not be getting paid to help the local band, but come on, we're
could
all
you lift a
bands.
finger? Could you lift a pinky to help us
Yeah.
out a little bit? you
Right,
know?
exactly.
So, and then here's the other thing too, though, and I don't mean to pile on, but you know, to
pile
finish, well, you know, that's what this is about, and I want to make sure that I got all this stuff out because I'm not doing these episodes again. I'm
It's taking
throwing
a
this
lot
stuff.
out.
I'm laying down the gauntlet right now. So basically, what it is too is you're buying 2 meals because you get there at 5. You load in your stuff, you go eat, you come back, you
Right.
perform, and then while you're starving, and you go eat again.
Well, usually on the way home you stop at Ram's Horn or
Yeah,
Denny's. or-
exactly. And it's
you
fun,
know.
but it's food you have to pay for. And you go home, and usually by the time I get home, I'm anywhere between $50 to $100 out of pocket
Right.
to play that night.
That's another thing I wanted to talk to you about too. I don't know if a lot of bands realize this, and I'm not saying, hey, this is the alternative, but let me remind you, like, all bands are a business.
Yep.
And like some of the bands that I work with and manage, which I will mention, like Ion Treble, Forces, stuff like that, you know, I have them doing DBAs, I have them doing LLCs, to where basically when you go to a show and you spent that gas to get there in your mileage, that's all taxed. Your food as a band can be written off, and you know, in any business, and a lot of bands don't know this, but you can get your DBA and you almost automatically get credit, and then you can write off everything. You can write off your picks, you can write off your guitar strings, you can write off your microphones, you can write off your meals as a band, your gas and mileage going to shows. If you had to play St. Andrews and had to pay $50 to park, you can write that off.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that can be done to where it can be more beneficial for everybody, because
Yeah, and those are good points.
a lot of bands don't look at themselves as like a business, but truly we really are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of them are just okay with pay to play and okay, anything to get on stage and blah blah blah. But it's like, you run a business, and
Right.
if you're in the red all the time, you're not doing it right. You're just
Well-
not. You know. Well, here's the other thing too. I got 2 major things that I want to say, and then we can move into what changes that you can update
Okay.
us on.
Okay.
So basically, the 2 things I want to say is number 1, I want to be compensated for every ticket that I sell. I don't want to have to sell 20, and then after that I can start making money on tickets. Now here's why. I used to be a commission salesperson. For 7 years, I was a professional, retail, full-time, 12-hour-a-day commission salesperson, and it was a tough job. Now, if I came in every Monday and they said, okay, you got to sell 20 deals, and until you sell 20 deals, we're not paying you any commission. How many people would sign up for that job? I wouldn't. I'd be like, I quit. You got to be kidding me. So I'm going to close 20 deals, and then after that, I start getting paid on deal number 21. That's bullcrap. I worked on those deals, and you wouldn't have made all that profit on those deals had it not been for me. So I want a cut of every single deal, or else I'm walking. Now that's the way I feel about ticket sales too. If I sell ticket number 1 to ticket number 20, I want a cut of every single one of them things. And here's the thing too. I'm going to be excited about that, you know, because I'm getting all that. And I'm not begrudgingly working my way up to the 20th ticket. I get paid for all of them. And because I'm a capitalist, I might sell more.
If I can
You know?
add something too, we don't want to have to compete with the venue. we don't want to be selling tickets at this price, but then the venue is selling them at another price.
Yes.
You
Well, it's
know.
The Groupon thing. We got bit in the rear end so hard by that.
Yeah, well, that and that's another thing too that I notice is it's just like, and here's another a problem that comes into play, is like sometimes like you guys will, okay, like let's say for the sake of arguing, like you guys will be selling tickets for a show, but this other band will be selling tickets for a show, and they'll say, well, we have tickets cheaper than everybody else, and even though the tickets are $20, they're selling them for 15.
Yeah.
Just whatever,
Because they'll make up the difference.
and then they end up paying the $5 out of their pocket themselves.
Yeah.
But then they bitch about doing that later. But it was their choice to do it.
Yeah.
But then it makes it harder for other bands to sell the tickets because they're like, well, we can get it for such and such for $5 more cheaper.
Yeah, you're undercutting everybody, and I think that bands that do that, there needs to be something done about it. I mean, yes, it's a free market and everything, but if we're all going to decide that, and I'm working hard. I mean, we're working hard.
Everybody's working hard
to make everybody more rewarded by doing this. And I would be so pissed off if after all this work that we're doing here with these shows and these episodes and all the negotiation that's going on behind the scenes, and then everybody goes out and undercuts each other. I'm going to be pissed, because it's bull crap. Yeah, giving everybody an opportunity here to finally stop, being upset about this,
right,
and make some money,
right,
and go home after, go home
come to
after
a
a show
conclusion
and
that
feel like,
everybody's happy with.
yeah, go home happy, like, oh my God, I had a great night, I had a few drinks, I had some good food, and I got compensated for all of my hard work regarding the ticket sales. I got paid for every single ticket that I sold, and I feel good about this. I mean, I want to be compensated from ticket 1 all the way to ticket whatever that I sold. So when I walk in the door, I'm going to hand you your cut, and I'm keeping my cut so that I can cover my expenses that are associated with that. And I've bought tickets from local bands to help them out for shows that I went to. And you know where I met them? I met them here and there at different street corners and whatever. I mean, it was weird, but these guys are driving, and I even had conversations with them. I'm like, what are you doing today? Like, yeah, this is my whole day. I'm running all over the place and burning up gas to go drop off these tickets for everybody, and they're not getting compensated for that. And then they still have to drag all their gear onto the stage and sweat their brains out doing a show. All right, so here's the other thing that I wanted to say. Now, a lot of times bands think that, if we sell all these tickets and we get on stage and we open up for so-and-so and such, that we're going to get all this great exposure out of it and all that. But I got to tell you, you're wrong, okay? I mean, you will get exposure and people will see you and you might sell a few things and that's all great. But to be honest with you, as a business person, you're better off taking that money and putting it into Facebook advertising. Promote your videos, promote your songs, sell your songs that way, as opposed to
promote your page.
Yeah, promote your page. You could take $300 and put together 3 ads for 3 of your songs on Facebook, and have more exposure and better exposure at that than you would by handing it to a national and saying, here, thanks for letting us open for you. You'll get more out of that. Now, I'm not saying don't play clubs. I'm not saying don't open for them. And this is where I bring it back full circle. This is why you do what I'm saying is, if you're going to open up for these guys and you're going to sell tickets and all that, God bless you. But make sure that you get a percentage of those tickets so that you can support your own band and put that into your own Facebook advertising or any other social media advertising that you want to do. So now you get the best of both worlds. You can go and open up for these bands and enjoy that and get paid for it, and take that money and put it right back into your business and promote yourself with the money that you earned by selling these tickets, by being a subcontracted promoter. So I think that's really the win-win for everybody. And as long as you're getting paid and you're appreciated and all that, you can definitely advance yourself. And I don't see anything wrong with that at all. So basically, you've read the comments. You saw the episode.
I haven't read a lot of comments. I just mainly watched the episode twice, so I could have a lot of it fully in my brain.
No, and that's good. So Now, you've also been proactive. You saw the episode, and
Yes.
you are making progress on your end to make
Yes.
some changes to make things better for us. So this is working. Just so you guys know, this is working. People are listening, and there's actually some changes coming our way, and we're starting to make those now. So tell us where we're starting at, and let us know what's going on.
Okay, like say for the sake of arguing, like over at the Token Lounge, where it used to be basically, and not from my end, this is just from, you know, me being the booking agent coming to you guys, to where it was just like, here's 30 tickets, sell all the tickets, that's all you get, just turn in the money. When you come to the club, you know, you got to pay for water, you don't get no free drinks, you don't get nothing. That's the way it was. Now what's going to happen is what John wants to do as far as ticket sales, is he still wants to give you the, you know, the 20 or 30 tickets, but if there's like 5 people in the band, he wants to give the band an extra 25 tickets so they can keep that money. And then as far as like when you guys come in, and you guys come in the day of the show, you know, as soon as you get your wristbands, you're going to get 3 drink tickets per band member.
Which is awesome.
And you're also going to get cases of water on the side of the stage or the front of the stage that you don't have to pay for. Because,
Which is awesome.
Because it's ridiculous for you guys to pay for stuff like that when you just gave, and not me, but you do give it to me because I'm the booking
You're the
agent.
go-between guy.
Right. But it's ridiculous for anybody to give $700 to $800 to $900 to $1,000 worth of money and not feel
Welcome.
privileged, not
Yeah.
feel not
Well,
you know
appreciated.
Right, I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
the word that I meant to say.
Yeah.
To not feel appreciated. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because it's like, don't get me wrong, I've been there and I've been the guy, you know, taking the money from bands, and sometimes I have to take the money from bands. Then people don't come into work, so now I got to go work the show. And then I leave you guys in the dust, and you're like, hey, where the hell did Paul go?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I'm backstage running and going in and getting those national bands food
Yep.
and everything
I've
on
seen
their
you do it.
rider,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not leaving you guys in the dark. Just sometimes there's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Well,
but, yeah, that's what the token wants to do. They want to give bands the extra tickets to make money. They want to make sure you guys get at least 3 drink tickets per band member. And they want to make sure that you guys get free water and stuff like that. Now the Crowfoot, what they want to do is, depending on the price of tickets, they want to give, like if there's a ticket for $17 or $10, they want to give, like say there's $390 worth of tickets. They say you guys keep $90, you know, we'll keep $300. We'll give you guys free drinks, free waters, and the same kind of thing. But with the Crowfoot, you make $3 off every ticket you sell. But if it's a $20, $25 ticket, then you make $4 to $5 off every ticket you sell. Mm-hmm. And you get the free drinks along with the free waters.
Okay.
Now,
It's progress for sure.
It's progress for sure. Yes.
Now, over at the Ritz, I haven't talked to them fully, but I mean that's a place that serves food. So what's the problem with saying, okay, here, and I'm going to talk to him about this just so that you guys know. Here's some free drink tickets for you guys. You guys get a couple drink tickets. Well, it could be 2, could be 3, could be more. I don't know yet. But what's wrong with saying, hey, here's a pitcher of beer or a pitcher of pop and a large pizza for you guys? Because, you know, I used to run a pizzeria. It cost about 30 cents to make a large pizza.
Yep.
Depending on the topic.
Toppings, but
Yeah.
see,
But you understand, you know what I'm saying?
this is great. This is great, and I love this because we're showing progress. We're showing that the venues do care.
Right.
You know.
Well, we definitely do care because it's like basically what it comes down to. Without no bands, there is no venues. Without no venues, there are no bands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we all have to help each other.
We all have to
and
work together.
We've done our part. I know that. You know, as far as that goes, and we've sold our tickets, and I'm talking about everybody when I say we.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
we've done this. So I think that this is great. Now, 2 things I want to say, and I got to say this.
Say it.
Because I'll forget. Number 1, what I'd like to see you do is instead of like, you know, and I've seen your posts like, hey, I need, you know, who wants to open up for such and such? Here's the deal. It's 30 tickets at blah, 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 and this and that. Okay, I get that. But what I'd like to see you do is do packages. Okay, so like you know, you post like, hey, so and so's coming to town at the Token per se. I need 3 bands. Here are the packages that I'm offering. This many tickets, you get this percentage of every ticket. You get this many drinks, and you get like pizza or whatever. Because there's a pizza place right next door to the Token Lounge. Now,
good pizza.
Yeah, and it's the best pizza. It's awesome pizza. We go there and we always
every
get
time.
even if
all the time.
Yeah,
What's it called?
Krusty's
Krusty's
Pizza.
Pizza. I knew
Freaking
it was
awesome.
some nasty
You guys should
name.
pay us for advertising you.
Yeah, it's great pizza. But here's the thing, though. There's no. I don't really think that there's a reason why we couldn't get a pizza, and 3 drink tickets, and a percentage of every ticket that we sell as a package. And then, so if we want to be like direct support, you get this package. The next band down, this package. The next band down, this package, and you get a percentage difference. And you know, I think everybody should get drinks and pizza. I don't see anything wrong with that. And it's just a matter of how many tickets you got to sell.
Do you get a smaller pizza?
I don't know. We haven't talked to John, but if there, you know, I'm sure John can work out a deal with the pizza place next door. So basically, the deal that you came up with so far, that we're still kind of working this out.
Right.
So the deal that you've come up with so far is, let's say we got to sell 25 tickets, right? Okay. So we got to turn in 100% of that money, and then any tickets we sell after 25, we keep 100% of that. Is that where it's at right now?
With the Token, yes.
Okay. What I would like to see is a percentage of those tickets, all of them,
from the get-go,
go to us. Because, like I said, it's Monday morning, and I'm 20 deals in the hole, and I got to work my 20 deals before I start getting paid for my hard labor. I don't think it's fair. I'm not trying to be unappreciative. I'm not trying to be a jerk or demanding, but I think it's fair to reward everybody for every single ticket that they sell, because we're not just selling tickets. We're delivering them. We're mailing them. Phone calls and Facebook messages and texts and oh my God.
It's the same thing I go through as a booking agent.
Yeah, but you get paid.
You're right, you get signed up.
You get paid.
Yeah, I know.
He only gets paid if he produces too, though.
Yeah, but we are producing. We're selling the tickets.
No, I'm saying he's.
Hang on. And here's another thing that I wanted to bring up just so the bands know. Okay. Usually, not all, but some, I'm just not going to say what venues they are, but if I have 3 bands booked on, and that the 2 bands come through and the 3rd band canceled, guess what happens, guys? I have to pay that money.
You're holding the bag. Yeah.
Right.
So there's a risk involved, and I do understand that, but at the same time...
Like if there's a band that's supposed to come in, and that venue owner didn't get his $450 from that contract, then he holds me responsible.
Yeah. No, I get it. I know that there's a risk, but that's
it sucks.
Bands need to be responsible. Bands need to be responsible. You need to be responsible at the venues and not trash the place. We're professionals.
Yeah, show up, do your job. You know, and the other problem too is like what Carrie was saying about the bands. I agree, because how many times have we done shows where we get off the stage and there's a band that comes up after us that it's like, why are you here? I mean, you don't even...
because they handed over $600.
There you go. They bought their way in, and they promised that they would sell tickets, and they don't even fit the genre, or they don't even belong on stage because they...
You got like...
they can't play.
You got like a death metal band like opening up for Striper. I mean, really?
It's ridiculous.
Is that going to make sense to anybody?
So how was that good for the audience? And then
or how's that good for the band to get exposure?
Well, not only that, but how is that good for the audience? Because now people wonder why people don't go to shows. Well, that's why. Because, you know, you're going to a Chinese restaurant thinking you're getting Chinese food, and then they serve you hamburgers and French fries. And you're like, what?
Excuse me?
You know, so that's what I'm talking about. So if the sign says Chinese food, I think that we should be served Chinese food.
Exactly.
You know, so that's what I'm talking about. Let me just get this off my chest as well. I mean, there's a certain festival, you know, that will remain nameless, even though I'm just dying to say the name.
You mind to say it for you?
No.
We could play a quick game of Hangman.
That would be dirty. Read into that. So basically what happened was somebody in the thread where I posted about this episode, people mentioned, you know, that particular festival. And they said that, well, you know, the local band selling tickets, that pays for the headliners. It's like, if you're booking headliners, this goes back to my soapbox earlier. I'll get right back on it because I love saying it. If your headliners can't draw, then why are you booking them, number one? And number two, why are you paying them so much? And number three, if you need us to make sure that your ass is covered because you booked a headliner that has an overinflated price, just like their ego, then you need to compensate us for it.
Plus,
you know?
Plus, when guys do put on these big festivals, bands that you're out there that, just in case that don't know the business, do you realize that the promoter, as well, or I should say the booking agent of every hamburger stand that sells hamburgers,
they're getting money.
Corn dogs, pig ears, I mean not pig ears, elephant ears, all that stuff.
Waters, everything.
They're making a percentage off each one.
And that's exactly why they don't allow you to bring food or water into the venue. They force you to buy it there so they can continue to make money off it, even though you handed $1,200 worth of tickets to them.
And that's
shame on you for doing that. That's dirty. And read into that too. Dirty. That's really bad business, and it's a horrible way to treat people, and I will never play that festival ever again. That was a huge scam.
Money is not the root of all evil, it's the love of money.
Yeah, exactly.
We understand you need to make money
to
stay in business,
but
there's no reason. Let's just say you should at least give the band some Vaseline before you're going to do that.
Yeah, at least, you know, bite my ear and call me daddy, you know. I mean, give me a freaking break. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with, you know, come in at 8 o'clock in the morning and hand in your ticket money, and, oh, by the way, here's a case of water that only costed us $4 because we bought it at Costco. That's your water for the day. We know it's going to be hot. It was 96 degrees that day when we played there. We were sweating our brains out. You know, and they gave us some crappy Sideshow Bob stage, you know, where we're playing away from everybody as they're walking in, and they just walk by, and then they also told us, oh, bring a ton of merch, because you'll sell all that. We didn't sell one thing, because everybody's too busy over there watching the stinking headliners that we paid for. So it was an absolute travesty, huge, big, horrible,
they had you play the same
disgusting
time?
scam. Oh yeah, they had us on at the same time. They don't care. We're just there to pay for the headliners and to pay for water and drinks and food and everything else so that the promoter can make all the money. And then he basically just placated us with the stage to make us feel like it was worth it. It was a big freaking joke. It was an absolute joke.
No, jokes are funny. That was not funny.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
And the stage, folks, was like this living room area. It was bigger than the stage that they played on because my friends, Silver Spork, played on that same stage.
Yeah, it was an absolute nightmare. And shame on you for doing that to us, by the way. Seriously, shame on you. So that's the kind of stuff that I can't stand. I really can't stand it.
And I'm not going to, like I said, we're not going to say no names, but those are the promoters that are like that make other promoters that are trying to do like, I brought 89X into the scene. I try to bring Motor City Reps back into the scene. I try to do as much positive stuff for the scene as I can. Me and you have talked, you know, on the phone. And it's like a sad thing. And once again, I'm not going to say no names, but me and you have talked to where it's like, okay, and this was mentioned in the first episode, to where it's like you guys were supposed to be on a show, and I was supposed to go to the owner of the venue per se and work out a deal so you guys could get a cut of some money. And that owner of that venue said, find someone else if you can. And then I end up looking like the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, folks, I have that job, so if I don't follow that boss's rules, then
well, that's why it all has to change from the top down. You know, I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with expecting a percentage of the ticket sales because, like I said, you subcontracted us, you should pay us. And number two, the food and the drinks and all that, I mean, those are minimal costs.
Right.
Very minimal costs. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, but I know that there's not a lot of cost to it, so it's not like we're asking a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up here. And, we're definitely going to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Definitely,
absolutely.
definitely.
We're so grateful that you guys came on, and we learned a lot today, and I'm hoping that you learned a lot as well.
Don't forget, bands, DBAs.
Yes.
License yourself as a business.
Well, and the other thing too is we're going to keep you updated with the new deal, because we are working on a new deal that we're going to put in writing for all of the bands, and then from now on, everybody gets to have a better experience and feel more appreciated.
And everything will be in writing. So like when contracts do come out, because I know all you guys know, I do contracts. In the contracts, it'll say you make this much per ticket. You get a free case of water. You get this many drink tickets. You know, and so forth. Yep. You know, all that will be there.
So it's going to be great.
So that way, if we screw up, you can come after us.
Yeah, I honestly think this is going to be a lot better for everybody, and I can't wait to start playing out again because I want to be able to enjoy that.
I can't wait to see the new band.
Yeah, well,
I want to know who's playing drums for you.
Well, thanks for watching, and we will definitely be updating you very soon about the final transformation of the scene around here and how much better it's going to be. And just so you know, we're working very hard on our end to fix this and make it better for everybody. So stay tuned and subscribe, like our page, and share this with everybody.
And chime in. We want to see your comments.
Oh, God, yes. Chime in for sure.
And we'll see you next time.
You got it. Seacrest. Out.